Okay, so let me start, right? I hope you people are able to see my screen. My screen is visible to you? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. So let me start, right? So today we thought of let me start from the scratch because last day what I found that people are just beginner. So we start from the basic stuff. So these are some topics which we can start initially. So let me start with a very basic fundamental. What is Java, right? Okay, so if I ask anybody, people will answer that Java is a programming language. So in fact, Java is a object-oriented programming language. But that is not the exact definition we should say to someone. In fact, as per my understanding, Java is a special language that is running on a platform. That platform is called JVM. So what I can say, Java is equal to uh, Java as a object-oriented programming language plus JVM plus library. Okay, so these are the three things we have to understand in Java. So whenever we say about Java, it's a object-oriented programming language that run on JVM, comes bundled with a rich set of library. Okay, so let's say if we talk about the library first, if you have heard about, let's say collection is a part of the library. Okay, threads is the part of library. Okay, and we can have something, let's say swing. Okay, AWT and so on. So actually library is nothing but the ready-made code which is available in Java, which you people can use, is called library. And if we talk about object-oriented programming, right? Object orientation. Okay, that is the very important word to understand, object orientation. The object orientation, actually it's a programming that revolve around the object. Let's say if we talk about anything, let's say this is me and these are you, are the participant, right? So we are on a call and we are doing discussion on Java. So basically what I can say, I'm a object and you people are a object. So basically object orientation is a subject which talk about interaction between the object, how many objects are interacting with each other to create some useful results. So object orientation is a subject which talk about the interaction between the object. Definitely we have to understand what is the meaning of object, what is the meaning of the class, and how they are related to each other in subsequent discussion. But right now, at least we should understand that Java is not only object-oriented programming language, it's a spatial programming language which run on a platform. That platform itself is called JVM. Okay, I hope you heard about JVM. JVM stand for Java Virtual Machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. So what is Java Virtual Machine? If you ask me, Java Virtual Machine is just like a simulated computer. Okay, simulated computer, right? Let me explain you like this. If we talk about normal things, we have something that is called hardware. On the hardware, we have an operating system. Okay, so if we talk about C programming or C++ programming, if you heard about those programming, they are directly running over the operating system. Okay, so they are running directly on operating system. But if you're talking about Java, Java is little special, right? Java do not run directly on operating system. We have a wrapper on operating system that we call JVM. Okay, so JVM is actually running as a process, and my Java program, if I'm writing a Java program do not directly interact with OS. Java program interact with JVM, and then JVM interact with operating system, and definitely operating system interact with the hardware. So now you might be thinking why JVM is there, what is the purpose of JVM, how it work, what are the various component of JVM. That we'll discuss in detail in the next session. But just I'm trying to convey to you, Java is an object-oriented language that run on JVMs, come bundled with the library. Okay. So today our focus would be basics of object orientation features like object, class, inheritance, polymorphism. But in fact, even before starting that, I should tell you how to write some looping concept, how to write some procedure code, okay, how to do something that is called dry runs. So even that is more important if you are very beginner. So let me start from that. Any question till now, guys? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So things are understandable. What I'm just trying to convey to you. If you note, if you say a little bit in between, I come to know that you are still there. Anyway, so what I was telling you that Java is an object-oriented language that run on JVM. Okay, and it's come bundled with library. Don't worry, JVM and library will discuss in detail in during the session. But today agenda is little bit understanding about object-oriented language features, and even before that, something that is called procedural features. Okay, so let me remove all these things right now. So we talk about these things, right? JDK, JRE, and JVM. So I've seen many freshers, they initially very much confused about the what is the job of JDK, what is the job of JRE, and what is JVM. Okay, let's say we talk about two machines. So first of all, we should know that there are two kind of machine, right? One is developer machine. Okay, one is called deployer machine. So deploy machine is in fact a server where you need to deploy your project. So whenever we talk about developer machine, so let's say you all are developer. Okay. So in your company, there must be some person, those are going to deploy your project. So there are two different kind of configuration, developer machine and deploy machine. On developer machine, we need something called JDK. Okay. So we need something that is called JDK. And on deploy machine, JDK is not required. In fact, JRE is enough. So now question is that what is the difference between JDK and JRE? Okay, so let me write a very simple equation for you. JDK, I hope you know, JDK stand for Java Development Kit. So JDK stand for JRE plus tools. Okay, what tools? Okay, the tools which is used by software engineer. For example, if we are talking about compiler, okay, we need to invoke Java compiler like with a command called javac. We can run a Java program with the command, let's say Java. Okay, we have some more command, let's say Java P. So we have many command, okay, which comes bundled with tools. Okay, for example, if I'm going to my CMD, right, let's say if we go there, right, so if I talk about the command like Java, okay, javac. So of course it is asking me to specify the correct name of the file, but javac is a command which come bundled with the tools, right? We have another command that is Java P, and there are so many other commands, right? So what I'm trying to convey to you, whenever we talk about JDK, so JDK come bundled with what? JRE plus tools. Okay, so I think we can draw a diagram which help you to understand. I can say something like this: JDK is equal to, okay, tools plus something that is called JRE. Now question is that what is JRE? JRE contain something you can say like JVM, okay, plus we can say something that is called library. Okay, so if we talk about JDK consisting of tool plus JRE, while JRE is consisting of JVM plus library. Okay, so definitely I will understand. I will discuss JVM in detail later on. But library, again, I'm saying what is library. For example, if I show you, let me show you. If you are going to Eclipse ID, let's say we have created a Helloworld project last time. So you can see here, it is showing you something here, Jre System Library. So that is I'm talking about. So whenever you are running a project, you need some jar files. So what is jar file? Java archive file. Okay, I will tell you later on how you can create your own jar file. But definitely if we are running a Java application, we have some ready-made classes given by Java. They are bundled into something that is called library. And if we are running a Java application, we need that library. Okay, I hope it makes sense. So we talk about JDK. So JDK is a bundle of JRE plus tools, and uh, tool consisting of what I told you, for example, compiler, okay, Java P and all those things, and we have a library. I hope you have some decent idea what is JDK, what is there in JDK, what is there in JRE, and of course JVM will discuss in detail. So please remember, if you are a developer on your machine, what we need to install? JDK. And if you are a deploy machine, if you are running on a server, you don't need tools actually. You need only what? JVM plus library. So that's why on deploy machine we only need JRE. On developer machine we need JDK. Okay, so let me move to something more, right? So if you see here, there's another thing which I mentioned here. Okay, how to write a Hello World application. So if you see here, we have to understand one thing, that Java is a object-oriented language. Okay, so if you're talking about Java, we have to write every code into something that is called class. Let's say we can write here class demo. Okay, and we have to write here public, okay, static, void, main. Okay, so now question is that we have to really understand why it should be public, why it should be static, void, main. And as I told you, you can always explore on Stack Overflow for more detailed discussion. Now we have to pass here string, let's say argument s, and this should be an array. Okay, this is the symbol of array in Java. And here I can write here system, okay, system dot out dot println, okay, and I can write here hi. So this is a very simple, you can say very nominal Java program, right? This Java program we can run with Eclipse IDE also, and with CMD, that means command line argument. Okay, but we have to understand the concept. First of all, you should know that thing class is a keyword, and what is the name of the class? Demo. Okay, of course we can also write public if we want here. Then we have public, static, okay, void, main. By the way, main is a method. Okay, main is a method that is declared by the compiler and defined from the user. And main is the entry point of your code. Okay, so you should have some question in your brain. Let's say if we name this program from main to main 2, will it run? Okay, it will compile, but it will not run. So again, I'm saying we need to do some kind of experimentation. Okay, void means what? This main should not return anything. Static is a modifier. What is the meaning of static? Static means what? If we are trying to call this method, we don't need to create the object of demo class. That's the meaning of static here. And in Java word, we have a string. Okay, string is a class in Java, very important class. And you see here, string argument. Okay, so I don't know whether if you have done C, C++. In C, C++, we have a concept of that is called command line argument. Okay, command line argument. So if we are looking for command line argument in Java, we can support command line argument by using this parameter. Okay, string argument. By the way, this is array. Okay, this is the array symbol in Java, right? And then we can have system here. What is system? System is a class in Java, right? What is out? See, out is not an object, right? Out is a predefined object of print stream. I will explain you. Out is a object of print stream class. Okay, and println is method available into that out object. So I will show you everything. I've just tried to explain you a little bit about it. So now let's say if we want to write a hello world, how it looks like. Okay, always remember one thing, writing the code is more easier than understanding the code first time. So this is the hello world which I have already written. So if you see here, so this is the class here, public class hello. So if you see here, what I can write here, public, okay, public static void main, okay, and I can write here string argument s, right, and we can write here system dot out. Okay, so you can see here out is automatically popped up. That is the advantage of Eclipse, right? If you are writing on Notepad, your performance is going to be slow down, and Eclipse will do auto suggestion, so you can do very easily. So I can say system dot out dot print, okay, ln if I want to print in a new line. Okay, so I can write here hello to, not hello to Java, right? So this is what very simple code I've written. How to run it? You can directly say right click here, run as a Java application, save it, and you can run it. You can see the output here. Now question is that whenever we are typing it, right? So let's say what happened if I name this method not as main but main2, will it run? You see here, clearly it is compiling. What is the proof that it is compiling? If you don't see any syntactical error in Eclipse IDE, let's say if I misspell class, then what happened? Will it compile? No, of course it is not compiling. That means there's a compilation error with the code. So if the code is compiling, that means your bytecode was created, and now stupidly I have changed the spelling of main from main to main2. Let's say what happened if I run it. Okay, so now you see here, the option of running as a Java program is not coming. That means your Java command cannot run it because it is not recognized as a runnable unit. So definitely you have to understand the name of method should be main, and you can do more experimentation. Let's say what happen if I remove these parameter. Let's say if I remove this parameter, will it work? So when I was a developer, one of my early manager told me, whenever you are learning programming, you have to play with the code. So anyway, so if you see here, I'm not passing the string argument as, and now my program is not running. Let's say if I go back here and do Control Z and save it and run it, then what happened? Now again, this option come back. So definitely you can run only as a Java program if you follow the nomenclature given by Java. Now, question is that can I change the spelling? Let's say if I'm not writing spelling at the argument s, I can write s here. I can write any spelling. So spelling of this array variable doesn't matter. Still, it will run, right? I'm running it. And let's say if you want to type it, you don't have to be typist, right? As I told you, you have something that is called Eclipse shortcut. So I can write here main and control and space bar. So as soon as I do control and space bar, these options come to me and I can say enter, and voila, what happened? You don't have to be typist. Okay. For example, if I want to write system out dot println in Eclipse, I'm going to write only sys out, and say control and space bar. Again, things comes here. So hello to Java, right? So this is very simple. Now let's say if we want to explore something on system class. By the way, system class is a class which is available in a special package that is called java.lang. Okay, so if you see my code, okay, so if you see my code, what is there in my code, you can see here I have not mentioned any package statement because there's a package java.lang, it is automatically imported. Let's say you want to see what about this out variable. Okay, so what is out? Can you see here? What is coming on my Eclipse ID? Out is a object of print stream. Okay, it's saying Java lang system.out. So let me check it out. I can do Control Shift T. Okay, what is the command, my friend? Control Shift T. So if you type here system, okay, let me type here system. So you can see here system class is there in JDK and it is F. Can you see here small f? F means what? It's a final class. Don't worry if you don't know about what is final class. I will explore it later on. So if I double click it, you can see here the coding of system class open in front of you. So you can see here, okay, by the way, this is there since beginning of Java JDK 1.0. And you can see here, there are so much code available into that class. Let me make it a little bigger. So you can see here, these things, I wish that if you start doing some Java coding and after some experience, you should be able to make sense of this code, right? So there's lots of code written into that class, system class. You can also do here quick outline. So if you see here quick outline, it can tell you what are the main method available into that system class. Okay, so there are so many methods, like we have a method like GC. So GC is also available into system class. There are so many important methods are available. I will tell you later on how to use it. But now I was interested to show you something here. Public final static input stream. Okay, in is there. Now out is there. So important thing is that many people ask this fresher question and they are confused. What they answer that out is a object of system. No. Out is not a object of system. Out is a object of what? Out is the object of print stream. Okay, so system class have a static variable of print stream. If you see here, now I'm raising lots of buzzword for you, static and all those things. Don't worry here. I will explain you everything in due course. So if you see here, let me short it out. System is a class, out is a object of print stream, and print stream class. I can also open print stream class like this, Control Shift T. Okay, let's say Control Shift T and say here print stream. Okay, so if you see here, print stream class is there, and if you say here quick outline, you can have method here that is println. Okay, where is that? Okay, so you can have different println method, which some print character, some print int, and you also have print boolean. So let me show you here something like this. So this is the method which we were using. I hope we are able to dissect what is the meaning of system.out.println. Okay, by the way, this is hello world for us. Okay, So let me move little bit beyond hello world. Okay, I hope you have understood something, and don't worry, JVM I will discuss in detail in in next session. So let me start with this thing, right? So just a minute. Yeah. So it's there. Okay, so let me discuss something what you might already aware. If no, let me do that. There's something called procedural programming. Okay, what is procedural programming? In fact, there are two words. Okay, one is called procedural. Okay, there's another programming that is called structural programming. Okay, the procedural programming and structural programming is almost same thing. The only difference is that in structural programming we have a guidelines that don't use a keyword that is called goto, and this is your assignment to find out what is the goto keyword if you don't know. Okay, so goto keyword is not considered as a good programming practice, and what we have understood that in procedural programming, if you are using goto, the flow of application become little unpredictable. That's why what we assume, if we are using structural programming, we suppose not to use goto. So we can say here, we can also say like this: structure programming is equal to procedural programming minus goto. Okay, and this is your assignment. You have to search what is goto if you don't know. Okay, so now question is that if we are looking for procedural programming, what we should do in procedural programming? Like, I hope if you know something, that there was a C programming that was considered as a procedural programming, and in procedural programming we have something that is called methods. Okay, we know, if you know, we are supposed to write something, let's say main. Okay, okay, we can write int main or void main in C programming. And let's say if we want to write a calculator, we have to say something like this. Let's say int is a data type. Let's say we are writing A, B, and C, right? And we can see here, say here, C is equal to sum A, comma B. Okay, and definitely we have to define a method. Let's say int sum, which is taking something like this, int A, int B, and we are going to say return A plus B. So by the way, these are the normal programming which we have used in C programming long back. If you have ever done C programming, these are called procedural programming. So of course, Java is not procedural programming, but of course, Java is object-oriented programming in which you can do these procedural stuff. Okay, so let me start doing some basic stuff with with Java. Let's see how we can do this. Let me create another program. Let's say we want to say it calculator app. Okay, one thing you have to notice, if I'm writing the name of class, I'm following something that is called coding convention. Okay, so if you notice here, what is the name of class I'm giving here? I'm giving here calculator app, and C is capital and A is again capital. Let's say what happened if I'm not capitalizing it, I'm simply writing like this. What do you think? So readability is good or readability is bad? So if you see here, if I don't know, if I don't tell you what is the meaning of this, you cannot spell it out correctly. That's why we have to follow something that is called coding convention. Okay, so one of the coding convention about the class is that the name of class should start from capital. And let's say if I'm saying calculator app, so I have to stop on another word that is called app. So A should also be capital so that readability improved. We can also say like this calculator application test. Okay, in that case, T should also be capital. Okay, this is how we should define or we should design the name of the class, right? Now, question is that what we want to do. Okay, we want to write main. I hope you remember the shortcut. Okay, control space enter. Okay, so if you do these things, you can very easily create this public static void main. You don't have to be typist. Okay, so I wanted to write a program to sum two number. Let's say if I can say here int A, int B, int C. Okay, and sum. So by the way, even this is not a good programming practice. Whenever you are defining the name of variable, they should be self-sufficient rather than writing the A. You can say here, let's say first number, right? You can say here second number, okay, and you can say here result. So the name of variable should be explicit so that it is a good programming practice. so that a programmer don't have to write comments. Writing unnecessary comment is not preferable nowadays, right? We should never write unnecessary comment, right? So we have created first number, second number, and result. Let's say what I'm saying here, first number, let's say, is equal to 55. I'm saying second number is equal to, let's say, 33. So what I can say here, result is equal to, let's say, first number, okay, plus what, second number, right? So I can print it out. Let's say if I want to print the result, I can say here sys out result. Okay, so if I want to print some constant, I have to use this double quotes. Okay, double quotes. So I can say here result equal to, and if I want to catenate a string, I have to use plus. Can you see here, plus? Okay, and I can say here result. So let me run it. You can also run program from here or from here. That's your choice. So if I'm running it, so what is coming here? Result 88 is coming. But actually, this is not a very modular code, right? Okay, so if you see this screen here, what you will find here, even this code was more modular. I have defined a method that is called sum, and the flow of control was transferred from main to this method. And once this method finished, the control come back to the main. So basically, this is called, this is more, you can say, a kind of modular programming in which we are defining our main into multiple methods, and we have a multiple methods calling happening, and we are not writing whole code in the main. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Let's say right now I'm just simply adding two number, then I have to subtract, then I have to multiply, then I have to divide. Definitely, if I'm writing everything into this code, my main becomes so big and it become unmanageable code. I hope you understand. So we have to create small method so that program is more modular. Okay. Modularity simply means that your method should be divided into multiple calls. Okay. So definitely it doesn't look nice. So what I should do here, I can call a method like this. Okay. I wanted to replace this. I don't want to have this. So I can have here add two number. Okay. So I'm passing here first number. Let's say I'm passing first number, second number. So you can again use control space, okay, to auto populate these value. Now definitely I have not defined this method. Okay, there's no method that is called add two number. So I can double click this guy. Eclipse is very handy tool. You can double click it and Eclipse will suggest you what you want to do. Okay, so let's say I'm asking Eclipse, hey Eclipse, I wanted to create a method. Now if you see here, this method is also static method. Okay, you can remove this private, but of course I will spend some time with you people, and don't worry, I will explain you why this also is to be static. But let's say if I remove static right now, will it work? Okay, it's not working. So I need to come back later on why it should be static. Okay, by that time, please just leave it. Okay, so we can say here first number. So I'm little lazy and I don't want to like typing. So I can say here first number, second number. Okay, so if you see here, if I run it, what is going to happen? The response would be same, but my code is little modular. So now I have added two number, all right? Okay, I can also have something here. Okay, let's say if I want to define another method that is called what? Subtract two number. Now I need to define a method, let's say create. Now it's giving me this choice, create method subtract two numbers. So here I can write some code. I can remove private. Okay, so I can say here first number minus second number. So this is, by the way, you can write here. Let's say if I sys out here in between, right? So now result of just addition, or let's say add result of what? Subtract, right? Now let's say if I run it, what should happen? Of course, if we divide minus 55 minus 33 should be 22. So sound okay. Let's say if we want to do something more, I wanted to multiply two numbers. So these are some basic procedure stuff. If you don't know, let's say that is the name of method should be multiplication, right? Now I want to multiply those two numbers. Of course, I have to define a new method. So you can understand this is what our procedure programming. Okay, so till now we are not doing much object-oriented programming. Initially, we should able to be good into that, right? Okay, so multiplication, for multiplication, I can write here second number, right? Now, let's say if I make it here multiplication, of course, it should also work. Now, let's say we also wanted to do divide, right? For division, let's say we copy paste this code here. Let's say what I'm saying here, division of two number. Okay, of course, this method is still not there. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create another method that is called what? Division of two number. And here some funny things can start, right? Let's say we have first number divided by what? Second number. So what's the funny thing can happen here? Let's say we are dividing two number, and what happen if the second number is 0? Okay, so if you run it, what is going to happen? You get a special error here that is called arithmetic exception. Of course, if you know elementary math, because you are already aware of all these things. So if you're dividing a number by 0, of course we have divide by 0. And now question is that how to handle this exception. So of course exception handling is a wonderful topic. Till now we are not doing it, but I will tell you later on how you can do it. Till now you can simply say if number, second number equal to 0, let's say if second number is equal to 0, then what you can say here, sys out. Okay, you cannot divide, right? And you can say here something called else. Okay, in else you can have this code, right? So let me, this is not multiplication, this is division. Okay, so if I try to run it, it's running very fine, right? Sorry, you cannot divide the number. Let's say if we have something else, let's say if I'm writing 5, if I'm running it, what's going to happen? It's working, right? So I hope this is very simple, nothing special. This is procedure stuff. If you have not done, I'm just trying to tell you how you can do it. But there is a more important thing, right? We are trying to discuss something about procedure stuff, right? Now, another thing which we should know, we have used a little bit on if-else, but there's something very interesting that is called looping. Okay, so what is loop, right? If you see here, let's say what is my requirement? Let's say what is my requirement? I wanted to print something like this. Okay, let's say I wanted to make, right? So what is the meaning here? I wanted to print 5 rows of stars, and every row contain 5 stars. So I can say here how many columns I have, 5, and how many rows we have, 5, right? So how many stars are there? 5 into 5, right? One thing you should never forget, that programming, okay, programming is a branch of what? Maths, right? So if you are good in maths, of course you can learn programming very easily if you focus a little bit. So by the way, we want to print these 5 star, 5 into 5 stars. So what I can do here, right? Or let's say if you start with a very basic question, not even with this question. Let's say if I want to print 5 star. Okay, let's say you're doing good in your assignment, I'm giving you 5 star. So what is the way to print 5 star? Okay, let's say if you see here, right? Okay, so let's say if we wanted to print 5 star, what is the approach? Should I say something like this, sys out this thing? This is very silly, right? I have to print 5 star. Of course it will work, it is printing 5 star. But let's say if I have to say 5,000 star, is I'm going to print like this 5,000 star. This is height of stupidity. We cannot do like this. Okay, so let's say if I want to print 5 star, I can use something that is called loops. Okay, so I can say here for, okay, for is a loop, okay, while is a loop, do while is a loop. Okay, if you see here, we have to give something here, int I is equal to 0. What is I? I is a variable. You can say this is initialization of the loop, right? So you say start I is equal to 0. You can say I less than 5. Okay, and then you can say here I plus plus, right? So if you see here, if I run it, what is going to happen? It is printing 5 star, but it is printing in a column, right? We don't want to print it. If you don't want to print like this, you can remove ln. Ln stand for new line. Okay, so if I remove it, if I run it, what is going to happen? It is printing 5 star like this. Okay, makes sense? But if you see here, this is very simple, right? But actually, There's a great technique which I learned in my childhood when I was doing programming, when I have learned programming initially in my life. And let me explain you. Let's say this is my code. So what I'm going to explain you, there is a great technique that is called dry run. Okay, what that technique is called? Dry run. That means running program in your brain. Last day also I was telling you somewhere the most important portion of our body is what? What is the most important thing in our body? Okay, so basically dry run is actually is a technique of running the code in your brain. So let me start that using this technique, right? So if you see here in this typical for loop, what happened? So if you see here in this loop, we have three variables. Okay, int I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. So if you see here, we can make something like this. I can make a two-dimension or a diagram like this. I can say I. Okay, so if I say I is equal to 0, and let's say this condition is there, I less than 5. So what do you think? So 5 is greater than 0. Condition is what? True. Okay, so if condition is true, how many stars should be printed? 1, right? And there's no new line. So what is going to happen after printing the star? Okay, the control flow again go back to the loop, right? It is the meaning of looping. Looping means what? Until the condition is not filled. By the way, this middle one is condition. So initially I was 0. Okay, I less than 5, 0 less than 5, condition was true. So star was printed, V goes up, and then I plus plus. This is called increment. Okay, many people are confused between post increment, pre increment. Don't worry, I will explain you. By the way, here it doesn't matter. Even if you say plus plus I, the meaning would be same. So I'm saying here I plus plus. So I become what? 1. Now we are comparing 5 is greater than 1. Condition is still true. Okay, so a star is going to be printed. Again we go up. Then I become what? 2. 5 is greater than 2. Condition is true. I become what? 3. 5 is greater than 3. Condition is true. Right? Then we go up. I become 4. 4 is greater than 5 is greater than 4. Condition is true. Then we go up. I become 5. Now I'm saying 5 is greater than 5, which is false. So that means my loop is broken and I come out of the loop. Okay, definitely there should be a terminal condition in the loop. If you don't have terminal condition in a loop, your loop may become infinite loop. Okay, so infinite loop means what? Which never ending loop. For example, if you say something like this. Okay, let's say if I'm saying I is equal to, okay, 0, or let's say 5 equal to 5. So if I say some silly code like this, my loop will never end. Or let's say if I'm writing like this, while 1, okay, so, or let's say while true. Okay, so if we are writing such kind of loop, that is a infinite loop. Okay, so we understand how to print this star like this. Now question is that we wanted to print 5 into 5 stars. So what should be the approach? Okay, so whenever you are writing the code, right, one thing is that there's another interesting thing you should know, that is called indentation of the code, right? Never write code like this. We are not writing a poem. Okay, we are writing the code. This is very unreadable code, unprofessional code. So you should never accept code like this. Okay, so whenever you find code like this, there's a command which you can use here, Control Shift F. Okay, what is the command? Let me write it here. Control Shift F, F for format. So if you press this combination, your code was formatted. Let's say this is what the initially. If I do Control Shift F, my code is formatted. Okay, so the formatting of code is very important. You should have flow like this. So what I can do here, I can say here for, okay, int j is equal to 0. Okay, j is less than 5, and j plus plus. So what I can say something like this. So in this case, I can write here sys out star. Okay, but I don't have to press ln here. Okay, let me write here sys out. So if you see here, this is the code I have written here, but believe me, I have not mug up this code. I have to do dry run of this code. See, dry run of the code is very important. Let me try to run it and see what is the output it is producing. Okay, so it was producing something like this, which I have asked you. We want to print 5 into 5 star. Now, question is that how it is doing, right? So let me do one thing. I must do a dry run. Okay, so how I can do dry run for you? Let's say if I come in here, right, let me paste it here. So now I wanted to do dry run of this code. So if you see here, this is the initialization condition. Okay, this is the comparison condition, and this is increment or decrement. So of course the flow has to be started from innermost loop. Okay, so the control started from here. Now I'm saying I is equal to 0 and 5 is greater than 0. If you see here, 5 is greater than 0, condition is true. So V goes into this loop. Now again what I'm saying, J is equal to 0 and 5 is greater than 0, condition is true, and I'm saying star, right? So if I print one star, the flow doesn't go to the outer loop, it still goes into the inner loop, right? You should understand this thing. Until unless this inner loop is failed, there's no chance then outer loop can come back, right? Until unless we are writing something called that is called break. I will explain you what is the meaning of break. Break means what? Coming out of the loop depending on some condition, right? So what I'm writing here, I'm writing a star here. Now I'm going up here, and now what is going to happen? J become what? J initially was 0, J plus plus J become 1. Now I'm saying 5 is greater than 1. Condition is true. I'm printing a star, right? Now I go back. Now I'm saying J become 2, 5 is greater than 2, then 5 is greater than 3, 5 is greater than 4. Now I'm saying 5 is greater than 5. See, as soon as I say 5 greater than 5, this condition failed and we come out of the loop, right? But we are still in inner loop, right? So what is going to happen? After that, system out.println. Okay, so we are printing a new line. So cursor was blinking here. So cursor start blinking here now. Now I will go up, and this time I become 1. Now I'm saying 5 is greater than 1. Condition is still true. So again this loop execute 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again we go up, then 5 greater than 2, then 5 is greater than 3, 5 is greater than 4, and then 5 greater than 5. It will be failed. So basically how many rows are going to be printed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So of course if you see here what I'm doing nothing but school mathematics. So this is very essential. What I can suggest you right now, last time also I was requesting you to refer this ntuedu.sg, and you can find tons of exercise like this, exercise of flow control, like check whether a student was pass or fail. Let's say if a student have more than 49%, he's pass, otherwise he's fail. Let's say we wanted to write a program to check even and odd. So this is nothing but a branch of mathematics. Programming is very simple if you think in this way, right? So what we are going to do, so he's not writing the code, he's writing the skeleton code, and it's a very good exercise for you. You don't have to see assignment from my side initially. Let me solve it for you. So what I can do here, let's say even or odd. Okay, so this is the program title. So let me start here. Okay, so now if you see here, there is another interesting thing. If you don't know, there is a called scanner. Okay, what is the use of scanner? Scanner class is used to take input from the user. So I can say here new scanner, and I need to pass here system.in. So if you don't know how this code is working, there's an important topic which we'll discuss in detail later on, that is called decorator design pattern. Okay, so don't worry, you have to wait for a few more days. I will cover design pattern in detail with you people. At that time, you come to know what I'm trying to convey to you. So there's a topic that is called design pattern. So whenever we are talking about IO, like let's say scanner is equal to new scanner system.in, it's a very practical application of something that's called decorator design pattern. Anyway, forget about decorator right now. It's a way to get input from user. Okay, because I want to take some number from the user so that I can decide whether say even or odd. So I can write here, please enter a number. So what is going to happen? I need to say here int number is equal to scanner dot nextend. You see here, because I'm receiving an integer, it should be nextend. Okay, if I'm looking for double, it could be next double. Okay, so I can say like this, we have received the number. Now I can say here what? If number, okay, what is even number? Okay, so very simple. If some number is divisible by 2, it is called even number. Otherwise, it is called odd number. So we have to take remainder operator here. You forget, you don't have to forget that you should apply double equal to, not single equal to. Okay. Right. So you can say here, sys out number is what I should say, even. Okay. Else, okay, sys out number is odd. One important thing is that, again, indentation is very important, right? Can you see here this code, how I'm writing this code? Let me show you. Right. So if you see this code, there's a very interesting thing I should tell you, right? So whenever you're writing the code, right, you should not write code in a straight line like this. Okay, you should never write code like this. You have to write code like this, so that readability increase, so that if somebody is seeing this code, he can understand. If this condition true, I'm going to do else. Okay, if this is condition, I'm going to do. Okay, what is going to happen if I write this code not in this way, but let's say in this way? What is going to happen? Right. So of course, even if you write this code, this will compile, but of course, this is not a readable code. So you can always take the help of your Eclipse ID. You can always say Control Shift F. It will format for your code. You have not to do any hard work. It's so simple. Let me try to run this code. Important. You see here, I've used a scanner. What is the scanner? Used to take value from the user. So if I run it, can you see here? This time you can see here some red icon here. It means that my ID is waiting for my input. Let's say if I enter some input, let's say if I'm writing 5 here, what is coming here? Number is odd. Let's say if and you see here now it stopped. Okay, this stopped. So I have to run this program again. Let's say what happens if I enter here 68, it is what? Okay, so if I'm writing 68, it is saying it is even. Let's say what happened if I'm writing some wrong data. Let's say I'm writing my name. Okay, what is going to happen? What is your expectation? You see here, as soon as I enter some invalid data, some runtime exception is coming to me. That is called input mismatch exception. So by the way, this program is very poor right now. I'm not handling exceptions here, but definitely I will teach you later on how to make this program much better. Okay, right? So exception handling can be used to improve robustness in your code, that I will prove you later on. But at least we can change the design of this code a little bit, right? This is not very good. What I'm going to do here, I don't want to write something like this. Okay, I want to refactor this code. See, Eclipse have a very good features that is called refactoring. Okay, do you know this word, refactoring? Okay, refactoring is a very important word. What is the meaning of refactoring? Let me explain you. Refactoring means what? Improving design of code without breaking the code. Okay, that means you want to improve the design of the code, but code should still work, right? So if you see here, this is not good. We should write a separate method here, right? This is not a good thing. So what I can do here, I can say here extract method, right? I can write extract method, and method name, let's say if I write here check prime. Okay, so I can write something like this. So see here, it's very easy. Now we have refactored our code. Rather than writing that code here, we have defined a method check prime, which should work, right? It is asking me to enter a number. Let's say if I'm entering 5, okay, what is going to happen? It is showing me the odd, right? So see, result is same, but actually this is more better programming. So what is my expectation from you guys? You please go through this lab exercise. Take this as a lab exercise and do it honestly, right? It will help you out, right? If there's any doubt in next session, definitely I'm going to help you. So let me show you some more example, right? It will help you. As if you do more and more exercise, you will learn more. This is what my thought process. So let's say this time I'm going to print this kind of diagram. right? These are called programming fundamental. If your programming fundamental are strong, you can learn any framework, right? Frameworks are not difficult. Programming fundamental are essential. So if you see here, what I can say about this diagram, okay? So if we see here, first row, second, third, fourth, fifth. So as soon as my rows are increasing, my number of star are also increasing. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So what is the logic I'm applying here? Let me show you. So what is my expectation? I'm quickly showing you some example. And after my session, you have to try one thing that is called dry run, okay, which I explain you. Okay, let's say if we have a code here, print star. So what I can do here, I can write here main, and now again, I can say here int I is equal to 0, I less than, what I should say, 5, I plus plus, right? And I can say here further int j is equal to 0, 5, j plus plus. So what I should write here, what I should write? Okay, this is not a good code. Okay, if you do something like this, it will print the square which we have done earlier. Let me do that. Sys out. What I should write here? Star. And it should be in double quotes, right? This is a string constant, string literal. It should be in double quote. Literal means constant. Okay. So if we see here, I can also write here sys out, right? So if I run it, it will print as usual, which we have seen earlier. But this time I wanted to print a triangle, not this whole shape, right? So I have to apply mathematics here, right? So what I can do here, I can simply say equal to I. Okay, so let me try to run it. So what is happening here? It is printing that stars. Okay. Now there are multiple way of doing the same thing. Let's say if you want to start a loop from 1, okay, you can also do that. Okay, in that case you have to apply equal here. Right. So what is my expectation? That you should do a dry run on all these examples and try to understand it. Okay. Quickly, I can give you some other example. Let's say we want to print something like this. Okay. So if you see here, again, this is very simple mathematics. Okay. How many star? 1, 3, 5, and 7 and 9. I hope in mathematics you must know something that is called arithmetic progression and geometrical progression. So if you are aware, this is nothing but arithmetical progression. Okay. Because we have a series 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So it is a hint for you. Please take this hint and try to solve this problem. Okay. Of course, on Google, you can also find the code. See, again, I'm saying copy paste of code is not a crime, but copy paste without understanding code is a crime. So what is my expectation? Even if you're trying some code from Google, first you should do what? Dry run. Okay, so you should do dry run before doing some copy paste of the code. Okay, so these things are assignment for you. There is some more type of question. Let me quickly help you out. Let's say. Now, this is a very good question. I hope it will help you to wind up the class, and then I hope you will revise those things and come back in the next session. Okay, let's say if we are looking for something that is called prime number checker. Okay, so what is the prime number? I don't have to explain you. Let's say if 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 2 is divisible. Is 2 is prime number? I don't know. Anyway, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, these are the prime numbers. So what is prime number? Prime number is that number which is only divisible by either 1 or itself. Okay, so if you see here, 2 is a prime number, 3, 5, 7. So question is that if we want to calculate a prime number, how we should go further? So what we should do here? So whenever we are writing such kind of code, we have to go with something that is called algorithmic way. We have to go step by step. So what should be the first step? Okay, accept number from user. Okay, let's say user is entering x is equal to, let's say, 7. Right? Then what I'm going to do? Step 2. Step 2, assume that, okay, assume that number is prime number. Okay. In geometry, I learned long back, there's a approach that is called proof by contradiction. Okay. So first we assume that it is a prime number, and then we'll try to prove it's not a prime number. Okay. So step two, we can say that we are assuming that it's a prime number. So what I can do here, I can say here, I can apply some loop here. Let's say I wanted to continuously divide this number from, okay, if it is a prime number, it should not be divisible from 2 to 6, right? It should be able to divisible only from 1 and itself, but not in between numbers. So what I'm going to do here, I is equal to 2, I less than, let's say, x, and I plus plus, right? Now what I'm going to do here, if, okay, we can apply some if here. Now I'm saying if x mod 2, x mod I, sorry, okay, let me, x mod I is equal to 0, okay? So if x mod I equal to 0, that means our assumption was wrong. Initially, what we have assumed that it's a number is a prime number, but if it is dividing in between, what I can say, our assumption is wrong. It is not a prime number. Okay, it's not a prime number, and we can break from the loop. Right now, further on, I can check what is the value. So rather than explaining like this, let me show you the program. But I hope you have understood the gist of algorithm, how we should write it. Okay, in your college days, I think you must have a subject, design and analysis of algorithm. Okay, but it's a very simple example, demo prime. Right. So what is expected from here? So again, what is the first step? I'm going to take input from the user, scanner is equal to new scanner. Okay, we can say system. So what is happening? My keyboard. System.in. I can say something like this. And then what I can do here. Okay, so we are going to take scanner. Then what I'm going to do here, let's say we have int value, right? So we can say here scanner dot what next int. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I can say here boolean is prime. Let's say initially I'm assuming that my number is a prime number, so that's why I'm saying boolean is prime is equal to true. So what I'm going to do here, for int I is equal to 2. Okay, I less than what I should say here, well, and I plus plus. Okay, so what I can do here, if let's say what I should say, well, mod I double equal to 0, what it means, if it is divisible, that means our assumption was wrong, and what I'm saying is prime is equal to false, right? And if it is false, why hell we are moving in the loop? We should able to do break from the loop. Okay, so this is the code here. So what I can do here, this is something like this. So what is we can do here further, if what is prime. Okay, so so what we can write here, sys out, it's a prime number, right? And I can write here else sys out, it's not a prime number, right? So let me try to run it. It's very simple code, right? So what is happening here, it is waiting for my input. Let's say if I'm writing 4, it's not a prime number. Let's say we are writing 7, it's a prime number. But actually this code is again not very smooth code. I don't want to write code like this, right? In fact, I want to put all these things into some method call. So I can do something like this, is prime number. Okay, and what I'm going to pass here, I'm going to pass here value, because we want to make our code more modular, right? So I can define a method like this, right? And I can remove this private, and what I can do here, I can cut this code and paste here. Okay, just let me paste it here, and I can return here this prime. So this is a better code, right? Control Shift F is always there, it's your friend. So if I try to run it, okay, so we can say here, sysout, please enter a value, right? So this is the code. So if I run it, what is going to happen? So, okay, so it's not asking me value to enter a value. Let's say if I'm entering 5, okay, it's a prime number. Okay, I did a silly thing here. The sysout should be there before asking a value. So now let me try to run it, and it's asking me print, please enter a value. I'm writing 5, it's not a prime number. Okay, let's say if we are putting the value 77, it's not a prime number. So I hope you understand, right? So now you can extend this program to something else. Let's say we want to find out prime number between two given number. Let's say we have number x1 and x2. Let's say x1, we have x1 is equal to, let's say, 44, and x2 is equal to, let's say, 69. So you can extend this program. Just think how you can do this code, and if you don't understand, come back to me, I will help you out. So I hope this session was useful to you guys. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me recap what we have done. Right. So revision is very important. I request you to do some assignment which I shared with you. Right. We have understood what is Java. Okay. Right. What is the difference between Jdk and Jre? Definitely JVM I will discuss in detail later on with you people. Then I have discussed that there's something called procedural programming. Right. I've explained you something that is called a very important technique. As per my understanding, the today most important topic was dry run, right? That means how to run code in brain, right? Then we discuss some basic stuff, right? Any question till now?
No question.
Okay, so things was understandable.
Yes.
Okay, so if you looking for this code, I will do one thing. I will bundle this code and share with you people, right?
Yes.
Okay, and by the way, this is assignment for you, right? If you see here, this is coming from the site which I've shown you last time also. If you have forget, let me tell you again. You can search here, yet another programming insignificant notes, right? So if you search here, you will find that link. Open that link, okay, and you can go there directly to exercise Java basics, right? So this is the exercise we supposed to do. Okay, he has done the code skeleton, right? You can even copy paste this code skeleton, right? But you have to write some suitable code here. Let's say what you gonna to write in if. Okay, so like print number in words, right? So these are some simple assignment. If you apply your brain, they are quite simple as per my understanding. This is a mathematical equations. In mathematics, you must have done some harmonic sum or something like this. Okay. Any question, my friend?
No.
Okay. So so let me set the agenda for the next day. For the next day, our focus would be, okay, let me tell you what is our focus. We are going to learn some basics of OOPS, right? We do something which is very important: abstraction, encapsulation, modularity, and hierarchy. Okay, and then we discuss something about class, object, constructor, okay, init method, static method, right? And something what I should say here, some basics examples, right? Initially, what I thought of that 40 session would be enough, but as per my understanding, I've calculated again. Our session may be more than 50 because you people are starting gradually, and I want that your base and basic fundamentals should be strong. So I think session might be around 50 or maybe a little bit more than 50, but it's not going to be less than 50. Is that okay to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to rush actually. I want that your basic fundamentals should be strong so that you can learn anything in any programming. And once your basic fundamental is clear, whether you're learning Java, Python, or Scala, it doesn't matter. Okay, because there are so many programming language, but basic fundamental always remains same. So what I request you, what you should take away from this session, if I'm able to clearly indicate to you, you should able to understand dry run. Okay, you should able to not copy paste the program simply. You should always try to think how this program is running. And initially, if you are not experienced, you can do dry run on a copy, right? And once you get experience, you can do dry run in your brain, right? There's a great exercise I can suggest you in this class, right? Guys, any difficulty, any doubt which I can discuss right now with you before I wind up?
Yeah, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, in prime number programming, there you if is prime, you didn't take any condition like is prime equal to true or false.
You
Without
see
that
here,
it goes.
this is the code which you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So we have put if here, right?
Yeah, before that program, maybe before the method.
See, what I'm doing, let me do Control Z so that you should be able to understand. What initially I did, my whole code was there here only, right? Okay, so this is the whole code, right? What is that? S prime. So if you see here, this is the code. If you don't understand it, let me do one thing. Let me do dry run of this code. Your doubt is how this code is working, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just a wait. Let me copy this thing here on my screen. Okay, so this is the code example. I wanted to do dry run in front of you, and I hope it will helpful, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how to get started, right? Let's say this is the code you copy pasted from somewhere in the Google. Okay, now you are wondering how it's working. So what is the great technique you have?
Dry run.
Right, great. Okay, good. So if you see here, what I'm saying, scanner dot next end. Let's say somebody is going to enter, let's say what I should say, 11. Let's say 11 is the input done by the user. I hope you remember, scanner is used to take value from the user, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
So now what I'm assuming, I told you this is a technique of mathematics. That technique is called proof by contradiction. Okay. So what is the contradiction I'm assuming? I don't know whether it's a prime number or not. I blindly assume it's a prime number. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm running this code from 2 to well. Okay. So you see here, what is the initial value I have considered here? 11. I want to check 11. I know this number is going to be divisible by 1 and 11. I want to check whether this number is divisible between 2 to 10 or not. If it is divisible between 2 to 10, my assumption is going to be wrong. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm starting here, int I is equal to 2, I less than val. If you see here, I less than val will not go up to 11. Okay. What is the val here initially? 11. So I at the most go up to 10. Okay. So if you see here, I'm going to check between 2 to 10. Okay. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on up to 10. So if this number is not divisible by up to 10, I can safely say it is a prime number. So now let me move in a loop. Okay. So let me take another color. So what I'm saying, I is equal to 2. So initially I is equal to 2. And I'm saying, well, that means 11 is greater than, let's say 2. Condition is true. Now, if condition is true, I'm coming here. If val mod I, what is mod? Mod give you remainder, right?
Yeah.
So what is val? Val is 11. 11 mod, initially it was 2. So if I do 11 mod 2, it is not 0, it is 1 actually. Now I'm saying 1 equal to 0. This condition was false. So now I go back in the loop. This time I become 3. Okay, now I'm saying 11 mod 3. So now if I do 11 mod 3, it is actually not 0, it is 2. Okay, it is 2. Again, I'm checking 2 equal to 0. Again, my condition was false. So again, I'm going back. So there was no chance actually between 2 to 10. I never go inside this if block. Okay, I never go inside this if block. Are you understanding my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we are not never going into this if block. So if we are never going into this if block, okay, the is prime was initially considered true and it will remain true. Let me take another question. It will help you. Let's say we are taking something, let's say what I should say,
10.
10 or let's say 9, because 9 would be better example. I will tell you why. So if we consider 9 here, so what is happening in the 9? What is your initial value? I is equal to 2. And I wanted to check between 2 to 8, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm very sure it will always be divisible by 1 and itself, right? So I need to check between 2 to 8. So initially my assumption was blindly that let's say it's a prime number. Okay. I hope you are very sure what is the meaning of proof by contradiction. And I suggest you that you should Google, and I will tell you a very good book if you want to improve your logic. But I suspect if I tell you more books, you will run away from me. Is it?
Yeah.
So I don't tell you more books actually. Sorry for that. But actually, you is that dry run is new to you, or you have already done in your
No,
life?
I know that.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So if you see here, I wanted to check between 2 to 8. So what is going to happen now? Now we are checking here. What is the number here? 9 mod 2. So if I do 9 mod 2, the answer would be 1, not the 0. So of course, this condition was failed. Now we are going back. I become 3. But this time 9 mod 3 becomes 0. So now we are doing comparison between 0 equal to 0. And the condition was true. If condition was true. And my assumption was wrong. And is prime become what? False. So as soon as is prime become false, there's no point checking further on. That's why I do a break statement here. I hope you understand what is the purpose of this break.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to waste our computation, right? Because CPU is important, right? CPU cycle is important. So as soon as we found that it is not prime, why hell I should waste my time? So it's not a prime number. I break and I come out from the loop. And here I'm checking if is prime. So initially is prime was true, but in this example it was false. So if false, never execute, then control come to else, and it will print it is not a prime number. I hope this explanation help you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the request? Again, I'm requesting again and again. Please go through this lab exercise. It's for you. There are some challenging questions. You don't have to do all the question. Just take a taste of this exercise, that what is expected from these exercise. And I hope, because you need scanner, that's why I've already told you scanner in advance, right? If you want to take a double, rather than saying next int, you can say next double. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So so what is the other exercise? What I can request you? This is the another page which I request you to use on. That is what OOPS basic. So friends, if you have never done object-oriented programming even in your life, I request you, if you go through these notes, they are very easily written by someone. I should praise him. Okay, he has make my job very easy. But otherwise, I will share my own notes also. But you can go through it. It's beautifully explained. By the way, if you don't know, this is called class diagram. Okay, you know a little bit about UML diagram, friends?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. If you know a little bit on UML diagram, my job become little easy, frankly speaking. So, so this is, you just go through it, whether you understand it or not, it doesn't matter. Just go through it. It will make my life easy while explaining to you people, and you will grasp little faster. Okay, so bye for now.
Bye.
So you have any question before we wind up? Again, I'm asking. Everybody's clear with the concepts?
I just have one question.
Yeah, please.
Do you have to write this keyword is prime, right? If it is
Is
true something.
Is prime, see, friend, is prime is not a variable. It's not a keyword, it's a variable. Okay. Its spelling could be anything, right? The spelling should be logical. If you see here,
So
the
it should be
spelling should,
understood by us, it should be understood by the computer, something like that.
see what I'm saying. If we are writing, let's say, rather than writing the prime spelling, I'm writing spelling foo. Even this will compile, right? Just try to understand. You've asked a very good question. If you understand, they're very simple to understand, by the way. So can you tell me, foo makes some sense in this code or not? Tell me. Foo looks nonsense spelling here, right? So this is just a spelling, right? It's not a keyword.
So
Keyword
we
is
need to
boolean is a
follow
key.
what we're using.
Pardon?
We need to follow what we are using since the start.
Boolean is actually a data type and foo is the variable name. But what I'm saying you that foo variable name is not a senseful name. Let's say this is the code I have written and I share with you. But rather than foo, if you are seeing the spelling is prime, you make a better sense, right? Okay,
Yes.
is actually asking a question. Is it a prime or is it not a prime? So is actually a question. So whenever you want to ask a question from a variable, you mention a is before that variable name. And you see, this is a coding convention. In next session, today we have to wind up. Actually, I'm having another job right now. So if you see here, if we write here is prime, actually we are following some coding convention. Okay, so I can guide you here. If you see here, coding convention in Java. So if you search here Stack Overflow, you can find here, right? So there may be some list here, or let me find out like this. Rather than Stack Overflow, I can find some PDF. So if you find some PDF, you can get some coding convention which is mentioned from Oracle. Okay, so it's a PDF. You just go
Okay.
through it. You don't have to do any mug up, right? Just go through it. What is the coding convention given by Oracle? In next session, I will take some 10 minutes to explain you. It's not very difficult topic. It's just a good programming practice. Last day also I was explaining you. Anybody can write the code, but we are not anybody. We are a good coder, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we are a good coder. So we have to write some good programming practice. Initially, it will looking like, okay, it's looking like a painful exercise, but it is my promise. Gradually, if you follow this practice, you would be a better coder, whether you are in India or US, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So bye for now. I think thing goes fine. If you have any other question, you can also post me. We'll share my details to you people.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Raju. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.